Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allie and I talk about all things travel. So today we're going to take a look at the new BAGSMART PAZ 23.5L Tote Bag. I have been trying this out for the last 3 weeks and I've got to say overall I really love it. I use it as an everyday carry, I take it to the gym, I've taken it to a tennis lesson, I've taken it on a really quick weekend trip. So I've got a lot of thoughts. Let's dive in. I'm going to show you everything I love about this bag and the couple things I wish would have been done a little bit differently. Let's get started. Okay, so first off, let's take a look at the outside of the bag. This bag is made out of 3-layer coated quilted nylon fabric. It's water resistant, so I've tested it. I poured a giant glass of water on here and shockingly, or not so shockingly, nothing soaked through. It just went right off the material. So that's the good news. It is worth mentioning, however, that the zippers are not water resistant. So if you get a little bit of water near the zippers, that will soak through a bit. So touring the bag, starting with the front, we've got PAZ right here, which to be honest, I kind of wish they would have just left off because to me, it just looks like it's like embroidered initials. I do feel like after a while, you kind of forget it's there. But I did actually have somebody ask if these were my initials. They're not. But you know, bottom of the bag, you've got the BAGSMART logo here. One of the things I really like about this black version is that this logo isn't super obvious because for me, like, I'm just really not a logo girl. If you are interested in another color, they do have like kind of like a light pinkish, like clay type of color, as well as a mossy green. They're both really pretty, but for me, I just feel like the black is the most practical. Moving on, let's look at these outside pockets. One of my favorite things about these is that they both have a magnetic closure. So it's really easy when you're on the go to just stick your hand in, grab what you need and keep going because it just magnetically closes when you're done. And then on this side, they also were thoughtful enough to include this little key leash. And I like that it's long enough that you really don't have to struggle when you're trying to use the keys to like get in the door or whatever. It's easy to just, you know, do your thing. So on this side of the bag, we have what is their largest water bottle holder. So good news for Stanley Cup users. This will accommodate a Stanley Cup. It fits up to 40 ounces. And they do that by including this nice Velcro section here so you can tighten it in, as well as this elastic bit down here, which allows for a bit of expansion. So moving on to the back, you can see we just have this nice simple trolley strap. It just slides right over your luggage, nice and simple, pretty self-explanatory. And now I'll show you the luggage strap in use. We've got our nice suitcase there. Here's the strap. We're just gonna stick it over the handle like that. And you can see it fits really nicely. Moving on to the other side of the bag, we have another water bottle holder. I use one for a water bottle and then I stick an umbrella in the other one, but you know, it's up to you. You can do what you want. You can see it's the same depth. The main difference is this one just has a little elastic bit. It doesn't have the Velcro like the other side. So that's really the only difference. The final thing to talk about on the outside of the bag is this reinforced piping on the bottom. It gives it a nice stable bottom that basically just means your bag's not going to be constantly tipping over, which is a huge plus because not all tote bags have that. So we love that design feature. The only other thing on the outside of the bag that we haven't really talked about are the straps. We've got these nice straps here that just go over the shoulder. Honestly, I don't have a huge problem with them. I think as an everyday carry, they're perfectly adequate straps. However, I did notice when I was traveling with this bag, because I had so much packed in here and it's all balanced on one shoulder, these straps got a little uncomfortable after a while. I just wish maybe there was a bit more padding on them to make them a bit more comfortable. But also I think this is just a general issue with tote bags and why I don't travel with them a ton. Okay, so this is the PAZ tote bag. As you can see, it's quite large. Just for reference, I'm 5'8", I'm fairly petite. And you can see it's a very chic little like everyday bag. As a travel bag, again, it is really awesome. The catch with it is if you're only gonna be taking it around and like holding it the whole time, it does get quite heavy, especially with like the lack of padding in the straps. They do also give you the option for a crossbody strap that comes with the bag, and it just attaches right here. Where's it gonna go? There we go, right there, and then right here. And you can see it's just a nice little like crossbody situation. However, again, my issue is with the fact this is not padded. This material here is basically the same material that's on the back as the trolley sleeve. So if I'm carrying this bag, I normally just carry it with this because these are at least ever so slightly padded. So before we jump into the inside of this bag, let's just talk about the dimensions and the weight. So this bag fits 23.5 liters. It's about 2 pounds, so about 890 grams, depending on, what scale you use. So first, looking at the dimensions in inches, this bag is 17 times 5.5 times 14 inches. And hand height, which is basically the height before the straps, is 10.5 inches. If you're looking at it in terms of centimeters, you're looking at 43 times 13.5 times 36 centimeters with a hand height of 27 centimeters. Inside of the bag, one of my favorite things is how light the interior is. It makes finding things so much easier compared to when you're digging through a black interior bag. Everything in here just kind of pops, you can see it quickly. Love that. So looking at the inside, there are 2 pockets on either side. You can use these either as water bottle holders, or what I do is I keep like a hairbrush in one and I keep my phone chargers in the other. It just makes it nice and easy to find both. And then on the back, this is meant to be a laptop compartment. It fits a 15.6 inch laptop and it's suspended, meaning that on the bottom, there's a bit of extra space between the pocket and the bottom of the bag. So in theory, it is a great laptop compartment. However, personally, I feel like it's better for an iPad or something that's a bit smaller because unless you really have a small computer, it's not gonna fit. This is my laptop. You can see it's an older model, very thin, fairly small compared to some of my friends' laptops. And when I stick it in this pocket, it goes right up to the top of the pocket. So it fits, but when I have it in the case, which I always keep it in a case, the case makes it too big to fit in this pocket. This laptop just barely fits in this compartment. It's maybe better used for just extra organization or to keep an iPad or Kindle, something like that in. And then instead of using this as a laptop compartment, I use this outer pocket right here. So you can see there's a second pocket. And this is where I'll stick my laptop when it's in the protective case. It fits in a lot easier. The one catch with this is this pocket does go down to the bottom, so you do kind of have to be aware when you're setting your bag down that laptop is gonna hit the bottom of the bag, which is why I always, again, keep it in a protective case. All right, so now we're gonna pack the bag. So starting off, I have a packing cube with a whole weekend's worth of clothes. So we're gonna stick that right on the bottom, and that makes a nice base for the bag. I'm gonna toss in our toothbrush. I'm gonna put that in one of the side pockets so it's easy to find. I have my makeup case. Kindle, we'll stick the Kindle in this side compartment here so it's easy to find. Brush, that's gonna go in with my toothbrush so I know where it is. Sunglasses case, we'll stick that on the other side. Extra pair of sandals. Wallet, which we're gonna stick in here so it's nice and safe. Purse just right up on top. Go ahead and zip this up. Perfect, and then we're gonna do this outer compartment here. So this is where I'm gonna put my laptop, my mouse. I've got a phone charger and my computer charger. They're gonna go right in that pocket. Perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and zip this up. So you can see it's already looking pretty full. This front pocket here, I'm gonna stick a couple snacks. So I've got 2 liquid IVs, some pistachios, and a midday square, which is my favorite. Stick these in the outer pocket for easy access. And then in the other outer pocket, I'm gonna just stick my portable charger, some hand sanitizer. The last thing we want is our water bottle. So I'm gonna use the extendable pocket. It's just right there, and then we have it, a nice full bag. You can see there's really a lot of space in this. And there you have it. So we've reached the end of the video, and now it's time to talk final verdict about the PAZ 23.5 liter tote bag. And here's the situation. Honestly, I think it depends on what you want to use it for. I love this bag as an everyday carry. I use it all the time. I think it's super handy. As an everyday carry, this is a great tote bag. But if you're using it for a travel bag, that's where I think you need to weigh your options a bit. If you're like me and generally just travel with like personal item only, this is not the bag I'd recommend, mainly because the straps are very uncomfortable, and just in general, I find tote bags, again, to be just too heavy on one shoulder. Catch with this is if you are going to use it as a personal item and you're paying to bring on a carry-on as well that's a roller bag, in which case you can slide this on the top, roll it around, it's not going to hurt your shoulder. In that case, I think this is a great personal item. So it really comes down to how you're going to travel with it. If it is something you're interested in, you can find a link to it in the description box below. It is an affiliate link, so just, full disclosure, it does help out my channel. It doesn't cost you anything extra. I do also have a code down there as well for you to save a little bit of money if you do decide to invest in this bag. But either way, I hope this video helps you out. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a note in the comments below. And with that, I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!